Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Kol Layam La, Abanawa Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakat Kwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And Shalom to the Akwaf sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. All right, it's going to be a real quick, just testimony. As y'all see, the title says Israelites at the Plantation, which, was a term we use for your job, your employment here in Babylon the Great. Okay, but basically, I say within like 2 months, I've had Jake's Israelites come to my establishment, for the line of work that I do. We get freight that comes in for, again, for the line of work that I do, the company that I work with. And the first Jake that delivered some freight to the job, he had on a French T-shirt, and automatically, we notice that, we see it. A lot of Jakes actually walk around wearing their French T-shirts daily, throughout the whole day at their job, etc. And obviously he drives trucks. So once a job got done, I asked Jake. I said, Jake, who you watch? Who's your teachers? Who do you learn from? And he told me, I believe he said he watches IUIC. He said multiple different camps. I believe he said IUIC, either HOI or Watchmen for Israel. I'm not too sure. And he said some other camps that I've never even heard of, because he said his cousin is in either South Carolina or North Carolina, and he has his own camp. He watches him too. And I forgot exactly the name of the camp he said he watches, but he watches multiple camps. Okay, and I obviously, I said Shalom to him, so he obviously knew I was an Israelite too. So he asked me who I watched, and I believe I told him that I just study myself. I don't watch nobody, which I lied, and obviously y'all know. But today was crazy, man. Today was really crazy because Watchmen for Israel, a member came to my job today to deliver some freight. So obviously he's a truck driver. Now, the main thing that I noticed in this, because when he first walked when he first walked in, I noticed who he was by looking at him, because I've seen the brother's face plenty of times on YouTube teaching with Naquam. Okay, so yeah, Salakia. I'm just trying to make sure I got everything correctly thought about. You know how these Jakes always say, what is one of the main things that Jakes say when they teaching out there? Where's your fringes? You're supposed to have your fringes on all the time. And if I'm not mistaken, from the times I have watched Watchmen for Israel when I first came to the truth, okay, because I did watch him then, okay, just like HOI and everybody else, I watch, all those other camps until I found GMS. Not only watch GMS, but all these camps tell you have to wear your fringes all the time. This brother had no fringes on. Okay, and I believe he has rank in Watchmen for Israel, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but this brother did not have fringes on. And again, I'm pretty sure that Watchmen for Israel, I'm not speaking bad or saying anything like that. I'm just speaking the truth. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that Watchmen for Israel always tells you Israelites that you have to wear your fringes everywhere you go. And the brother did not have no fringes on. Okay, and like I said, once I grabbed all the pallets and everything else, and I asked him just to see what he was going to say. I said, hey man, where you from? And he said, I'm from PG County. Okay, so that's out Maryland. And just for those that don't know, PG County, Prince George's County, is in Maryland. Okay, it's a lot of crazy niggas out in PG County, but that's another story for another time. So I said, you be out Baltimore on Fridays? And he was like kind of shocked, and he was like, yeah, how do you know that? I said, bro, I know you're an Israelite, bro. Now, you were Watchmen for Israel, ain't you? He was like, yeah, man, this word getting out. How did you know, man? What you? And I was like, yeah, man, Shalom. Oh, man, so you watch? You watch? And I was like, man, I do my own thing, man. He's like, so who you watch? I said, I watch the most hated camp on the planet. And the first one he said was IUIC. I was like, hell no. Then he said Genesis. I was like, hell no. I was like, the first hated camp that everybody hates. That's the camp that I watch. And he was like, GMS? I was like, yeah, GMS. So, he held back, if he had anything bad to say, he didn't say it, but he still saluted me and, went about his day, man. Okay? But it's something that I didn't tell that Jake. I've met Amos, so like your brother Amos. I've met him. I've met Naquam. I met everybody in Watchmen for Israel when I first came into the truth. Okay, so if I didn't tell him that, you know what I'm saying? Because actually, if I went in front of Naquam, he would know who I am. Because I've actually talked to him the times that I've met him and brother Amos. Okay, but it's just to to show, man, like Jake, man, this is everywhere, man. And we bumping heads. Well, I'm bumping heads with a lot of these other guys that are from other camps and that watch other camps. I'm coming across them. And the moment that we had, it wasn't really no friction, nothing like that. We ain't, have no bad words. Wish one another well and went about our business, man. Okay, but yeah, man, that's just something quick that I wanted to say, man. And let me close out with a scripture real quick. Because, we got to keep on fighting and doing this work regardless, man. At the end of the day, we'll see who's right, and we believe we know who's right. We believe we know who has the truth. Okay? So, I'm just going to keep on moving forward, man. Just keep on moving forward. Keep on doing these good works. Okay? So this is Titus chapter 3, verse 8. This is a faithful saying, and these things I will that thou affirm constantly, that they which have believed in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai might be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable unto men. So we got to maintain these good works, man. And with us maintaining these good works and everything that we do, we put in what? That effort, okay? That due diligence, the research, the studying, okay? Doing everything that's acceptable and pleasing in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Okay? We can't have no leaven in us, okay? Which, look at that word leaven. The definition goes into a lot. Okay, we can't have none of these worldly concepts in us, man. So we have to do what's acceptable and pleasing to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Okay? We have to give out the truth. We have to break down all these scriptures correctly, man. Whether you offended or not, man. Because if you're offended in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And what did Yahushai said? Woe to them that are offended in me. Okay? That are ashamed. Matter of fact, we'll read that real quick and we'll close out there. That's perfect. Because again, like I said, the brother didn't really say anything crazy or nothing like that, but I could tell, that I can tell by his body language and his look that he was pretty much offended. That I said I was a GMS follower. This is Saint Mark. Well, I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong, but let me read this. This is Saint Mark 8, verse 38. Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, because the words that we speak, the words that we give are the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Period. Ain't no way around that, man. The words that we speak and declare are the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay? Of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. And amen. Because a lot of jakes, they offended about what the RAP doctrine, which is not a doctrine. It's a way to handle things according to the law, man. That's all it is. It's a way to handle things according to the law, man. Okay, and that's what we give you. We give you the whole truth, man. The bitter and the sweet. The bitter and the sweet. Shower righteous, man. So I'm gonna leave it right there, man. I gotta get up out of here, hit this damn gym, get this workout in. Abanawa Ratazaz, edifying, uplifting, and informative, man. To the truth is said, Akim wa Akwaf, man. Stay focused, man. And just kind of shocked, man. How Shimi Hawashah keep on bringing these Israelites my way, man. And especially for him to bring a watchman for Israel my way too, man. So you know May Yahweh Shem Yahushua bless y'all beloved Akim wa Akwav. May he protect y'all, guide y'all. May your household be a part of the election, the protection, the guidance, the increase, everything that we need in these days, man, because it's about to be real, real hectic out here on earth, man. Okay? Love y'all. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatham, Bahashem Rakakadash. Shalom. I gotta clock out. Shut this bitch down. Oh yeah, Shabbat Shalom. Salaki, Shabbat Shalom. It's a new month. It's the third month. Okay, this is the new Sabbath. Sunday evening to Monday evening is the new Sabbath today. It's the third month. Okay, the new moon. Shalom.